I have many uninformed, strong opinions about lots of things. I'm going to be fine. Don't worry about it.
Immigrants!
Yeah. Especially stuff that I know nothing about.
Yes, exactly.
Wait, hold on. Why do you have all those Transformers on the screen?
Lore Boys here. My name is James Miller. I am here with
Paul Dango, new host.
New host.
New Life.
No, it's the ever ill Peter O'Donoghue.
Yeah. For everyone following us on social media, you guys might have seen that Ice the Husky actually replaced Jamie.
Bark.
But then we had to bring things didn't work out with Ice. She's a great media personality, but the personalities just weren't clicking very well. So we had to bring in Paul Dango to replace her. But because since Paul Dango is Peter's alter ego. That left a vacancy, and we ended up bringing on our good friend James Miller onto the podcast.
Hey,
Everyone,
thanks for having me.
nice
Yeah, no problem, dude.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for helping out.
great to have.
Yeah,
Now that because since we don't have three reliable hosts.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, we do. They rotate. you know?
It's great to meet you guys in my own apartment.
It's great because what the people at home don't realize is that you guys actually did switch spots for the first time in the history of this podcast.
That's true.
So it works out pretty well.
Basically a new person.
Yeah. Sorry about last week, by the way, everyone. I had a
they don't
date
care.
with led into a night
Lent?
downtown. Lent into
Yeah.
Lent.
Yeah.
I gave up my
Gave up
Tinder dates this
podcasting.
year.
I gave up Tinder for Lent.
I gave up podcasting.
I gave up
Drank
podcasting
myself
for
to
Lent.
death.
Yeah. A Tinder date that led to meeting other friends downtown, which led to a very, very sick James. I drank a normal amount, but I guess age is catching up with me. But I'm here back. I'm back here now.
Honestly, it happens. Like,
Yeah.
whatever, 3-4 weeks ago, I went out and also didn't go crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't even get drunk enough to forget anything.
Mm.
Woke up and was just like, I was too weak to get up and throw up, so I just laid face down in my bed until the fucking nausea passed.
Oh yeah, that's the good life, dude.
That's the good life.
Yeah. I think I got greedy. I found a Tinder date on the internet and then went downtown and tried to find another date. It's you know, I
you
flew
like
too
hook them
close.
up like Voltron.
Yeah, I flew too
gotta
close to
catch
the
them
sun.
all.
Yeah. the Tinder,
Yeah.
The fucking Tinder melted all the wax on your wings.
Yeah. Jamie thought he was on Tinder. He was actually on Pokemon Go.
I've never seen this girl before.
Yeah.
Oh shit! There's like 8 other people all taking pictures.
I thought Ekans was a weird name.
Yeah, no wonder Snorlax was very fat and sleepy.
My kind of girl.
Snorlax. Oh, I get it. Yeah.
It's the Pokemon.
Yeah. All right, guys.
So who's this guy though?
Yeah, who are you?
I'm Ethan.
Oh yeah,
Hi.
Ethan.
the third host.
Welcome back.
Hey, that guy.
So, we took a brief break to talk about Warframe in my leave of absence, but we're back. So we're back on the Destiny train.
James was gone. We talked about something good. Now
Yeah.
James is back, so it comes in his caravan garbage.
I do have to preface this with I think Destiny is a great game.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of fun with a lot of friends. Played through Destiny 1, like I said in the last one, it helped me through a hard breakup. I played this one to the point where I've maxed out everyone in the vanilla game. I'm not sure I'm going to get super deep into the DLC because I'm starting to get a little bit weary of the game, but I've had solid fun for a month and a half.
Buy the DLC when it's cheap and just get back into it.
It's Blizzard and Activision. It's never going to be cheap.
Taken King, which
yeah.
was Destiny 1, by the end of Destiny 1's cycle, which was a year and a half before Destiny 2 came out, I got the base game and all of the DLC for $40.
You got to realize Blizzard's reselling them now, eh?
Yeah, I guess so.
Diablo 2, if you bought it today, would cost you $20.
Yeah.
Like, no updates, no nothing. The same
StarCraft
Diablo
1
2.
is free, though.
StarCraft 2 is free too.
StarCraft
Oh,
2
yeah.
is free now.
Yeah. All right.
They threw a bunch of Star Wars shade at EA when they were
Yeah,
just like,
that's
it's
good.
like fucking whatever amount of credits you need. The amount of credits you need after beating the campaign is 0 because we're not.
They had a fully produced commercial out
Dickheads.
within a day. After the whole Battlefront 2 fiasco blew up. Like,
Wow.
It was like they were fucking on it like, whoo.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's
They
a good marketing team.
They probably have a shade crew just like ready to go.
the shade department.
I think EA is hurting because like I did sign up for Battlefield 1, right? And I checked my Gmail the other day and I've gotten like 3 emails like, oh, Battlefield 1 extra XP bonus every time you log in.
Yeah.
So they're like just trying to
Baby,
pull in
come
money
back.
wherever they can. Yeah, exactly.
At
It's like-
time of recording, their stock price has dropped so far that they have lost $6 billion entirely due to the Star Wars fuck up.
yeah.
Oh man, I'm happy though. It's about time that someone got it. But the thing is, a lot of people are like,
Somebody had to get too greedy and ruin it for everybody, because I don't care what you say about Overwatch, okay? When that Overwatch man came out and was just like, I don't think we should be included in this whole thing, and I'm like, yeah, everybody in prison says they're innocent, dickhead. Right? Like,
yeah, that's fair.
yeah.
I just like the people who are like, oh well, EA took it back, so I'm gonna buy the game now. You're falling into what they said,
Yeah,
you know?
like
Yeah.
silly boy.
Yeah, don't buy the game.
It reminds me of South Park when BP has the oil spill and they have the president of BP like, we're sorry.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Like lounging in front of the
How
fire.
sorry could
Yeah,
a corporation
that's it.
ever be?
yeah.
Yeah. EA dropped initially 15 points and they're back up 5 points now. So.
You know what? EA is an enemy, and what we're talking about today in Destiny is the enemy races.
Would you call them?
So-
Would you call them an enemy?
I might. For the
You
sake,
wouldn't, because you have self-respect, and I get that.
for the
But
sake of a visual joke, would you write it EA enemy?
EA.
enemy.
That reminds me of Finding Nemo. I live in an enemy.
I live in an
Don't hurt
enemy.
yourself, kid.
Yeah, exactly.
That is my favorite movie.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I love it.
It's a
Which
good
one?
one.
Finding Nemo.
Oh,
Yep.
And
Never
on
heard of
principle, on fin, fine.
I'm fin to find it.
On principle, I did not watch Finding Dory because I was like, I don't watch your shitty cash and sequels, Pixar.
was Finding Nemo? Was that like American History X?
Why do you
It's a lot
guys
like that?
Oh,
Why do you
I like
guys
that.
still watch like every superhero movie that comes out by Marvel?
I don't. I haven't seen Spider-Man,
Spider-Man was
or Thor.
Okay.
I haven't seen the new Thor.
No, I want to see Black Panther, but the chances are pretty low that I'll see it.
Mm.
And then if I don't watch that and have 3 movies to catch up on, Avengers: Infinity War, it's not likely I'll see it in theaters.
That's right.
Those are all probably relegated to the Netflix dungeon at some point, like 5 years from now.
Yeah,
So-
I wouldn't pay to go to a movie for it.
So it's pretty obvious that Black Panther would be a Titan, Spider-Man would be a Hunter, and Iron Man would be a Warlock, right?
Actually, that's not bad.
Yeah,
that's not bad. That's
okay.
pretty good.
There we go, Destiny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I'll
Bring
do
it back.
I'll do a brief
Recap?
a recap.
Please
so basically, what happened is so I'm gonna do the speed round. Humans,
Oh,
they
can
see
you like quiz us?
no like speed rounds need you not to
Let's slow it
interrupt.
down.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm already
How
lost.
fast are we going? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, okay.
The
So
floor is yours.
humans, they encounter a UFO. Meet it on Mars. Crazy thing. They bring a script and some guns. It's friendly. So it gives them a bunch of knowledge, which brings them into the Golden Age. So now the humans are in the Golden Age with the help of a giant orb. This giant orb is called the Traveler. The Traveler helps them terraform planets and expand past where they're normally able to expand, which gives them space travel. And now the collapse begins, where the darkness moves in, which is an ominous, evil force that destroys everything that you have built with the human race, except for on Earth, where the Traveler makes a last stand, saves the human race, and also creates ghosts and revives some humans as guardians to fight the darkness. So here we are. We are in the tower, which is the last town that's built underneath the Traveler. And we have guardians, which are the player characters, and ghosts, which are the fairies from Zelda.
Yeah. And
Here we
time.
Yep.
Wow.
That wasn't bad. That wasn't
Yeah,
bad.
that's
We got
good,
through it
that's
pretty quick.
good.
Yeah.
If you could see me now, I'm one of those coaches in the blue coat who's just like staring shocked at his
Yeah.
stopwatch right now as the guy runs past me. The guy who like recruits Forrest Gump into playing football. I'm just like,
Yeah. I'm holding up an 8x11 poster card that says 6 on it.
I'm pouring a water bottle onto my crotch. All right.
Hey, that's my move.
he's feeling too feisty.
Yeah.
Cool off.
Gotta
Cool down, boys.
Exactly. So, in no particular order, the races I want to cover today, I'll give you a little structure, is the Fallen, the Hive, the Vex, and the Cabal. And then overarching all 4 of those, the Taken.
What part these guys play in Destiny?
Destiny. They are the enemy races. They are the agents of darkness. They have a relationship with the darkness, and these are the ones you're killing as the Guardians.
Okay.
So for each of these races, I want to get into the
I
biology.
just thought of something that I'm going to put in my pocket and tell you guys after the recording is done.
Okay.
This is very funny.
All right.
But I don't think I'm going to say it out loud.
Is it a dildo?
Nah.
Is it a butt plug?
Yes. Never mind. And it's got a little fuzzy tail on it, like a keychain.
Nice. Yif boys.
More Boys Furry Cast.
I want to talk about the biology, the history, the motivations, and their involvement with the darkness for all 4 of these races, and the overarching Fallen, which has a relationship with all these 4 races. That you'll find out.
Okay.
in the end.
Okay.
So, in order, I want to go Fallen, Hive, Vex, Cabal.
Okay.
So, you ready to dive in?
Wait, can you give me that order one more time?
I'm going to dive into the Fallen. What?
Yeah, so let's fall right into the Fallen.
Okay.
Sick pun, Dad.
Yeah, exactly. So, the Fallen, they have 4 arms, 2 legs, 2 rows of knife-like teeth, which infers that they are carnivorous. They're nomadic bipedal humanoids.
Okay.
And they have a complex knowledge of tech. So they're able to pilot ships. They have things called pikes, which are like motorbikes with guns.
They're ghosts from Halo.
Kind of,
Yeah.
except they're less floaty and more... Well, yeah,
No, they're floaty,
They're like
yeah.
the brute choppers from Halo.
Yeah.
No,
they're
they're
kind
floaty.
of... They're more narrow than Ghosts. Ghosts is kind
Yeah.
of like a sideways...
Ghosts have wings. Yeah.
Ghosts are a sideways oval, and the pikes are more like motorbikes that float.
Okay.
But a little
follow.
chunkier.
Destiny's already got ghosts.
Yeah,
That's true.
exactly. They're Peter Dinklage.
That's true.
You don't ride Peter Dinklage. He's too little.
Yeah. He
Where
break
you
his,
gonna-
he
where
break
you
his
gonna-
poor little back.
Where's he gonna go?
Yeah.
Dinklage just floating next to your head and like getting in your face. Oh, I see an enemy nearby.
I'd watch Peter Dinklage's head disappear into a computer console so I could get my spaceship.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Do what you got.
It's good at hacking. So he's fallen, 4 arms, 2 legs. It means that they're really good at climbing. Like if you play the game, the Fallen, like they kind of in Destiny 1,
They're
they're
the
like
first guys you fight, right?
pretty much, I
You
think.
fight them on the dam.
It's either Fallen or Hive in first. I'm not 100% correct, but usually the Fallen are like one of the easier ones that you meet in the beginning. I think.
In Destiny 2, the Fallen are the first ones you fight.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
so
well, the Cabal in the tutorial mission.
In what?
The tutorial mission.
the tutorial mission of Destiny 2 starts
You fight
with
the Cabal.
because the
Aren't
Cabal,
the Cabal the villains though?
the Cabal are the
They're all
villains, and they're
villains.
the 4th race that I'm going to talk about today.
Oh, okay.
All these races are villains, though, right?
Yeah, they're all villains.
Well, I
They're all
guess it
villains.
depends on perspective. But
Yeah.
Yeah, ask them if they were hosting this podcast.
That's
What would they
it.
say about us?
yeah.
If I was going to call
That's a
any
lesson
of
in
them,
racism. Lore boys out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. They're all pretty eerie, man. So the Fallen, 4 arms, 2 legs, crazy teeth. They're bipedal humanoids. They have tech knowledge. They have 4 eyes that glow blue.
Cool.
But when they die, they kind of like fade away. So that's cool. And they have suits that feed them elixir to stay alive. So whenever their lifeblood comes to their suits.
Okay, so
They're
it's
like the grunts from Halo.
Yeah.
so
So
external life force.
I
yeah.
gotta stop doing. I'm sorry. I don't want to throw so much. I've never played Destiny. Okay.
No.
So I just make fun of it because it's popular.
Yeah.
Ethan's played and it just wasn't his cup of tea. I'm sorry, Destiny
Yeah.
fans, if I keep shitting on it.
No,
comparing
no,
it to
We're not
Halo.
shitting on it. Well,
No,
I mean,
I'm
comparing it
just-
to Halo is a fair comparison, right?
I'm just being a dickhead.
The people that made Halo made Destiny. I think
Yeah,
it's a
but
fair
if you wouldn't do
comparison.
that for another company, especially one that I like, I wouldn't compare fucking Counter Strike to Half-Life. They happen to be shooters, but otherwise they have nothing in common.
yeah, bunny hops.
But
That's a Source Engine exploit, though.
But
you got Bunny
Destiny-
Hops and Titanfall.
yeah. But Destiny and Halo have a lot in common,
I
do.
know.
right? Like if it's a fair comparison,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hold back.
I take no
Fuck
offense.
you, Destiny fans.
I take no offense. When Ethan was here before he got here, I was like, I bet we all bring up Halo 6 times at least.
Yeah.
throughout
I just
this.
did it
We've already hit
twice.
our quota.
Yeah, exactly. yeah.
Fuck.
So
We're just faking it. We're just doing it.
yeah. The Fallen. We're trying something out a little bit new, guys. I have flat screen TV here, and I pulled up one of each of the races onto the screen so we can talk about it a little bit. The Fallen right here. So, what are your impressions of it, Peter and Ethan?
Can't really see.
I'm
get
not
up.
wearing my glasses, but no, it's all good. I can see it from here.
Yeah.
It's it looks at this distance. It kind of looks like a lizard dude with a big ass red cape, 4 arms and 2 pirate swords.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right, and that's a captain. So they have a different hierarchy.
Okay.
There's dregs that are smaller, captains, and they go all the way up the ladder.
And is that he's wearing the red cape? Is that formal attire or?
So there's different houses actually
Okay.
within the Fallen. I'm not getting too deep into the houses because there's like 12 of them, and if I got into every single race, then we would have 12 Destiny episodes. And although people like
And then a
Destiny-
season finale, and then they're like,
Yeah, exactly.
People call us sellouts.
Exactly.
Aren't we though?
Yeah,
Are we not?
But Activision Blizzard, if you want us to sell out, consider it.
Yeah, crunch at us.
Yeah, crunch at me. I'll open a Battle.net account.
So they're kind of they're ultra mobile, extra limbed humans. In Destiny 1, they kind of climb very easily. In Destiny 2, they actually get down onto their 4 limbs and like
Oh, do they scuttle around?
they
or?
scuttle real quick at you, and you don't expect it if you play a lot of Destiny 1 because normally they stay standing up, and in Destiny 2, all of a sudden they go down and come at you so fucking fast. It's
Yeah.
They should have put that in the trailers. I would have bought the game.
Destiny 2,
What
Combat
are the
Evolved.
big changes from Destiny 1 that you guys have input? It's like, yeah, well, like the Fallen Kid scuttles.
They walk like crabs!
Crab people.
Yep, they're
So
pretty much
you'd
crabby.
have fucking 6 articles on IGN about how the Fallen scuttle now.
Yeah.
How great that's going to
Yeah,
be.
that's it.
Fuck, yeah.
So I'm terrified of arthropods. Nobody warned me.
I don't care how delicious they are.
I'm triggered. Somebody put a label on this box.
mature, like blood and gore, intense violence, scuttling.
Yeah, Scotland.
Mild scuttling.
Mild scuttling.
It's good stuff. So the Fallen, they have what is their history and motivation, pretty much. So I'll tell you what it is.
Why are they so mean?
Yeah,
Are you
they're-
asking me? Because I didn't bring my notes.
Who made them like this?
Who
So-
did this?
Was it their dad?
yeah, the Fallen. So like on their name, they were pretty much the Guardians before we were the Guardians. They're formerly known as the Elixni, and that's what they called themselves, is the Elixni. We call them the Fallen when we
Naturally.
meet them, but back in their world, they're the Elixni.
So like all the human race is like white people now, where we're just naming other cultures and like you gotta stick with it.
Well, hello there, Chief. This is India, isn't it?
Exactly.
No, man, it's not. Good, India it is.
Good.
You must be Indians. then.
You must be a fallen.
Yeah,
No, we're
still
externally.
Still not wrong. Yeah,
Elixir.
it's
Elixir.
Still not right,
Elixir,
dude.
we're Elixir. No, I think we'll just go with fallen. That's
Yeah.
good. I say, my man, that's good.
You see, I wrote it down already,
Yeah.
so I'm putting it back on the
Don't
sheet.
you see? My explorer's journal, I've clearly written down fallen. What do you expect me to do? White it out?
I couldn't possibly write below a correction. You skip a line, that is a waste of paper.
I do have to say though, it is a pretty astute name, and I don't think if they could understand us, only a couple of them do understand us. Varix, for the gamers out there, is someone you run into in the
For the
game.
real
We'll-
gamers.
We'll get into
He's a
it
people?
later. Varix is one of the Fallen who can speak people,
Oh.
basically.
Is he a good guy, or is he just...
You kill him.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, but
So we're still like white people.
Mhm.
I say it, jeez. They've learned to speak our tongue. Shoot him.
This man didn't do what I said one time I asked. Just kill him and everybody around him. Quit ragging on white people, Ethan.
I gave him a bunch of alcohol, then he acted drunk.
Savages.
Let's give them some guns.
The Fallen, though, actually is a very good name for them because the Fallen, they fell apart when the Great Machine, which is what they
Traveler.
call it, left them, and the Whirlwind arrived. So
They're like crazy.
Traveler in darkness.
They're like crazy
Traveler.
ex-girlfriends, basically.
Why?
Because the Traveler was just like, oh yeah, peace and love, bro.
Yeah, I gotta go.
And then they found like New Bay in humanity, and then the Fallen got left behind with like some sort of cloud of blackness.
Yeah, that's it.
that just absorbs time and space.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man, the Traveler's a bad dude.
And well, the Fallen's like, oh, those stupid humans. I'm gonna fucking shoot them.
this new
They can't
favorite.
take my traveler.
Yeah.
They can't take my ball.
They were abandoned. They're abandoned, and they feel bad about it. But what the Fallen do respect is they respect what they cannot steal from, and this is the darkness to them. So they can't steal from the darkness. So they're like, I respect you. So they just take on the darkness and go along with the darkness. And
So they're like, they worship safes and like vaults.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I was just thinking they'd
Oh,
like
holy
fist
vault.
bump a shadow because like it's like I don't know if it's even a real thing. It's like, yeah, I respect you. Fist bump the shadow and like pull your arm back and it's just your hand's just gone.
Yeah.
Just like a stump. He's like, yeah, man.
Yeah, or like a cartoon.
Hey, he stole from me.
That's it. A cartoon take him with like a big sack on his back, doing like the cartoon tiptoe, like dee, 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 dee,
Oh, yeah.
dee, 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 into like just darkness, and then like opening up his bag and trying to grab a bunch of it, but it like won't
Or
fall
like a
out.
butterfly net.
Yeah.
So
That's thumbnail material right there, Ethan.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for.
I like what you're. I like the cut of your jib, kid. You should host a podcast.
Maybe.
So the Fallen, they do take the darkness unto themselves, and
So they did steal it.
because no, they joined
absorbed
it. They joined it. Kind of.
It stole them.
It's yeah, exactly.
Does a sponge steal water?
Yes.
That was a
Next
weird...
question.
Yeah.
Does a sponge steal water?
I don't know. I was thinking
That is too deep. That is too deep, man.
I was thinking that they were like absorbing it.
Are we stealing air?
I like to imagine. No, yeah, but give it right back.
No,
you don't.
Yeah,
Not all of it.
You give back all the nitrogen and the CO2.
I'm full of hot air. I actually exhale more than I inhale.
You're more of like a trader rather than a
Yeah, exactly.
than a borrower. Anyways, so they take on the darkness to themselves, and this is why they are one of the races that have survived through the darkness. Assumedly, there's been millions of races in the vast universe that have fallen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't even mean to.
They fell from grace, right? They were of the traveler,
Yeah.
and now they're of the darkness. So
Exactly.
And that's why we call them fallen. Those
Exactly.
bitches. Those punk ass bitches.
So you kind of get their vibe, right? They're kind of moody. They lost their bay, and now they're coming after us, and they hate the light because it's helping
And
us.
they're agents of
And
the
the light
darkness.
was their bay.
Yeah, exactly.
They're agents of the sandstorm?
The whirlwind is what they call it, but
Whirlwind.
it's their description of the darkness.
They-
As much as
So, if they're like sponges, do they get really heavy and like drip darkness?
they actually elixir.
How much darkness can you fit inside one fallen?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that that's
13 cubic meters.
wrong because elixir is what they need to survive. All of these races, except for the Hive, need something either from their own planet or something to keep them alive because
Okay.
they're traveling through
It's like the darkness.
space, right?
Well, I mean that makes sense. We go to space with a helmet
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
so, yeah.
That's it. Well, it's like
Everything
the
needs
darkness
it, yeah.
replaced their blood, and then they're like, shit, we still need blood.
Put it in the soup.
Yeah.
We got it.
We keep pumping them full of, we keep taking out all their blood, replacing it with darkness, but they keep dying. What do we do?
Yeah. If you shoot them just right, like a critical hit, their elixir kind of like blows
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, I've seen the tubes like spray off.
Yeah.
Elixir is a great name for it, considering they're called the elixi?
The elixni.
Elixni, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of on the nose there, no?
That sounds like there was a writer at Bungie who was just like, yeah, the fallen. What do they call themselves? He's like,
Yeah.
What do we
one post it?
Yeah, what do we
Yeah.
call the guys who use the elixir to keep themselves alive again? Elixir.
They-
Maybe drop the R.
They spell it a little different though, just to be
Okay.
unique. They spell it ELIKSNI.
Oh,
Fine.
that's completely
Yeah,
different.
just like way back in our Metroid episode, whenever they called that one planet the same thing, but
Yeah,
added
yeah.
an O in it or whatever. I forget what it was.
Chibi or
ZB Zaru.
Zebos.
No, it was the
And Zebox.
Oh, wait, no, it
What's the
was.
stuff they take off? Like the blue stuff.
I know
man,
what
it's
I know
forever.
what we're talking about, but I'm never gonna remember the names.
Yeah. Anyways, it's
Uh,
all a blur. I don't know video games.
I have the memory of an elephant, but I was blackout drunk for that episode.
drunk elephant.
I have the memory
drunk
of a
elephants.
blackout
Drunk
drunk elephant, or
So-
someone undergoing surgery.
The Fallen, you get the idea. Let's hop on to the next one. They're called the Hive. So the Hive in Halo, who are they? They are inspired by undead classic fantasy fiction. They're impossibly old. They're undead. They're
Flood.
The Flood, exactly. The Hive is
I'm
the
looking
Flood.
at the picture. He looks like a zombie with like longer fingernails.
Zambo.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
a bigger
and
mouth.
Who in Warframe was inspired by the Flood?
Oh yeah, you talked about this last
It was
week.
infested.
Exactly. Yeah.
The Hive, the
It
Infested,
all
the
comes.
Flood.
It all comes back.
They're all like insecty names, right? Like
Yeah.
This,
Okay.
this flood also looks like a he's wearing a do-rag. I would
it's
say.
Hive. Yeah, this specific
this
one.
Hive. Did I
Yeah,
say
they're
flood?
in a gang.
Yeah.
They're in a gang.
There also is a hierarchy within the Hive as well. So you go from tiny thrall, which are like a wave of them. Usually you want to pull up like a submachine gun or something so you can kill them really fast. And it goes all the way up to an ogre, which is like this giant lumbering thing that if there's more than one of them, you're going to have a hard time taking it down
Yeah.
by yourself.
Oh shit.
So these guys, they're all independent, and they have their freedom. They all act independently, right?
So the Hive, they are like basically undead from classic fiction. They're impossibly old. Bungie wanted to portray a royalty-like feel to them. So
Are they actually Zambos or are they not?
it's not clear, but from their description, they're almost certainly.
Okay.
Like they never say they were alive here and now they're dead here, but They're impossibly old. They're vaguely humanoid with dry, flaky skin encrusted with ancient armor. And their undead royalty-like feel is what I want to say is that whenever they get to a planet, they burrow into it and make these like massive, almost like Egyptian underground tomb type like things that are like very magnificent but
Opulent?
old feeling.
Are they like termites, basically, with better decorators?
Better taste, yeah. Better feng shui. Termites with feng shui, basically.
termites with a wallet? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. They travel around in ships that look like sarcophagi, and whenever they land, they burrow deep into.
Okay.
How'd they get to space?
A very death motif.
Yeah, and they also, whenever they get there, they often destroy a lot of the planet by burrowing into it. They don't care about the planet, right? They're just dead, and they kind of bring death with it.
Okay.
Is that how planets work?
So imagine you have a small planet,
Yeah.
and you have a very delicate ecosystem. And
That's easy to imagine, actually. Surprisingly so.
Yeah.
It's almost like the only planet I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine if you were on like Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, all these sarcophagi hit all of our rainforests, all of our farmland, and start burrowing deep into our core.
Fracking.
Capitalism.
Right?
Sorry, never mind. It's the Hive. Sorry, fucked up that one.
They're fracking. They're fracking is what they're doing.
Fuck, I missed my cue.
You're saying they're funded by the Republicans. Is
So
basically
yeah,
it.
I forget what your original question was, but you seem to like infer that planets were resilient and how would they fuck it up? But they just come and drill, and sometimes they won't
do
fuck up planets. Sometimes planets are resilient, but
Arguably,
they don't care.
Planets themselves are resilient. It's the life on that planet that is not so resilient.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like we're here after the dinosaurs, right? Like the planet's fucking fine.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess it would change the ecosystem.
Yeah,
then.
yeah,
They would
exactly.
change like the makeup of the planet.
Yeah. So we've spoken with these guys, though, right?
They don't talk. Yeah. They're
Surprise!
They look screechy.
Yeah.
Like from that photo.
Yeah.
Screechy and grunty.
Yeah, they're and they kind of run pretty fast and like at you quickly, except for the big ogres.
They scuttling? Did they scuttle? Are we up in that?
They
from,
don't scuttle,
like,
no.
some-
No.
like some scuttle?
More like a shuffle.
Yeah, shuffle or like what's it called if you like put your foot, then arm down, foot, arm, and you're running with like more than one limb.
Oh, half scuttle.
It's like a half scuttle, but like
A
an
half scuttle.
amble and like it's frantic and
Yeah.
it's scary.
It's kind of like a gallop, but for a bipedal thing.
Yeah, a zombie gallop.
It's a simian scuttle, I think, is what it's the technical term for.
Sounds like a dance move.
The simian scuttle. I'm gonna go cut a rug with the simian scuttle tonight over at Jeeves Bar.
Yeah. University bar for
Yeah, I had to
for scientists. There's a real word for that. I had an actual thought there, but
Yeah, thinking's hard, eh?
I had a date
Here's
last
on
week.
antibiotics.
We did the simian scuttle at the
damn
end.
right you did.
Yeah. Anyways, the Hive, they travel in those ships, blah blah blah. Then when they land, they carve out the planet later. What is their history and motivations? They derive their power from the darkness because they made a pact with their highest gods called the worms.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
and the worms,
Fucking cool.
the worms come later, back into the story. So put a tab on that, put a
Drek,
pin
the
in
worm
it.
of autumn.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, that's
Put
Steven Erikson.
one of your multicolored post-it things on that page of this book.
Yeah.
Right now, come back to it for the exam.
Yeah.
The worms. Will not come. A full explanation will not come this episode, but
No,
Oryx.
Jamie, I want to know. Come on, Jamie, come on.
Right now, you know it's the gods of the Hive and Oryx, which is the last boss of the Taken King of Destiny 1,
Oh, cool.
has an affiliation with the worms.
Oh, he
They
gets
hang
with
out,
him?
eh?
Yeah.
He who lies with worms.
Yeah. He makes a deal with the worms, basically.
Too bad they didn't give him a cool name like the King of Worms or the Worm King. They gave him the Taken King. I don't know, man.
Well, because he's not the worms. He's like, they're bros. They're like, hey, so you can help me out with this, and I'll help you out with this.
Duke of Worms.
Okay, 'cause
Yeah.
I actually have a question, too.
Worm
Yeah.
Vassal.
Aren't the Taken a thing?
Taking our thing, and I'm gonna get to them last.
Okay, because you
Yeah.
don't have them on the screen yet. I was looking at the screen earlier. I was like, I don't see the
No,
Taken.
If you'd like to hear about the Taken, please flip over the cassette and skip
Yeah.
to chapter 5 of this podcast.
The Taken are a special case because it's tough to they're not really a race on their own, but I'd like to get to that at the end.
Yeah, let's hit it.
It has a nice structure.
Let's hit it.
Yeah?
Because we started talking about the Taken King, and I assume there's some affiliation there.
There is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there definitely is.
I'm a very intuitive young boy.
Yeah.
You
Ethan,
can't slide one like that past me, James.
That's the same word together twice.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, memory was my favorite game as a child. Thank you very much.
All right. He still can't figure out which way the batteries go to the remote, though.
Well, I mean, think about how many possible configurations there are,
4,
depending on how many batteries you have.
2.
Ooh, yeah. How many D batteries fit in your fucking remote control? Think about that.
Yeah. What type of battery do you have? How many batteries go in the remote? How many poles are there on a battery?
Yeah.
2.
How many sides can poles be on batteries?
Yeah, that's a good one. They feed on the light, but they also hate it with a passion. They're like part of the darkness because the worms made them.
So
part
like
of the darkness.
vegans. So like tofu's fine.
Oh no, thanks. I'll just have a salad.
They're the worst thing, but they're eating the best thing for you.
Yeah, that's it.
This is the light give you eternal life with superpowers.
Yeah.
And they're just like, fuck this.
I just really don't digest meat very well ever since my intestines rotted out, so I need more fiber in my diet. They do speak, it's just they're insufferable, so we haven't communicated with them at all. We had one conversation with them, we're like, no, we can't stand those fucking guys.
It's just shrieking in the video game.
And they burrow into the ground like worms, but make it opulent once they get in there.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, they kill all the vegetation on the surface because they just bring it all down into their basement dwellings. They're just kill all the plant life because we need some fucking salads down in here. We're breeding like fucking rabbits down here, and homeboys need a salad.
Oh, celery gives me so much energy. I sleep all day by choice.
They have a pretty big colony on the moon, so it must be made of tofu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, fucking Wallace and Gromit misled me.
Yeah.
Just like Britain to do.
Yep. So that's the Hive.
Okay.
They travel around like dead things, and they burrow. They have an affiliation with the darkness, and they hate the light.
Why they hate the light, though?
Because they're part of the darkness, and the darkness hates the light. Like the darkness wants to eliminate the light, and they have affiliated with the darkness.
Do any of these things have a home planet, by the way?
So they do have home planets. The Fallen are on Earth. The Fallen are on a lot of planets. The Hive are mostly on the moon.
Okay.
And what I'm coming up to next is the Vex, who are mostly on Venus within the game.
These things are super cool looking.
Yeah, they are great. So
robots.
I'll tell you a little bit about them. So it had to happen. They're ancient robots.
God damn it! How can you do this to us again?
Video games? It's like there's one school that that like fucking video game companies hire from.
Peter, I was against you with the people reusing shit, but like I'm back on board.
Yeah.
I'm back on board. This is too far. Have video games gone too far? No, not far enough.
So they're
I wrote a blog post about why I hate video games.
on Kotaku. They're made of an alloy that resembles hammered brass, although it isn't.
That's awesome.
But they do have some biological components in them as well.
Good band name. Sorry.
Some biological components and
Hammered Brass.
Bit of a
Hammered
mouthful.
brass.
It'd be a bad band. But
Hammered at brass.
I'm a brass.
That's
man.
a good name for like a country bar or two.
Hammered Brass.
Hammered
Hammered
brass. Going down to
brass.
Hammered Brass. Have me a whiskey
Yeah.
and soda. And,
I drink there.
yeah.
I drink most places though. 'Cause I
And the
have problems.
finest alloy. They look like robots, kind of in the form of humans, although they have different types of robots. They have ones that kind of look like eyes that shoot lasers at you.
Oh, that's
kinda
a
like
harpy.
snipers. They're harpies, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, they're named after Greek mythology, right?
Well, no,
Or
because I know
Greek figures?
I've seen these guys a lot. for
They
some
are though.
reason,
They have the harpy. They have the minotaur.
Goblin.
They have goblin and hobgoblin.
They're just D&D nerds.
yeah.
Because when I watch Pony play on Twitch.
PWNY.
PWNY plays. He does this one strike that I think is on Venus because all the plants are red, where he fights a lot of harpies. And I know they're a triangular eye,
Yep.
and they like kind of rotate and open up.
Mhm.
And then they've got tentacles.
Yeah, some of them do. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think they always let the tentacles out, but they do have tentacles. Yeah.
Like get a couple shots of tequila, let those tentacles out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, baby, that's a harpy I can
know.
get
Oh,
into.
you know it.
So they also have a white liquid within them. I'm not sure the technical name of it, but in Destiny 2,
Is it goo?
they call it milk. It's
right.
like Vex milk. And in Venus in Destiny 2, there's like rivers of it. If you step in it, it hurts you. And there's like some tidbits of like must be where the Vexes are recreating themselves, and it's this white stuff. And they also have you can see on the screen right on their stomach they have a white glowing part, which is a see-through part that shows their Vex milk. This is where if you shoot them in the stomach, right where the white part is, or any of the Vex, usually they have a white part or a red part, which is their eye.
Is it the crit?
That's the crit. And yeah, if you hit it, they'll usually blow up and die.
If anybody is curious, the Vex thing on screen right now looks exactly like Shockwave from the 80s Transformers with a bigger hat on.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a hobgoblin. The white thing on the stomach is affectionately called by Destiny players a juice box.
Oh yeah.
Get them in the juice box.
It's their head. That's where you get your headshots.
In the chest?
With that white
Or
light.
in the abs, really.
The white light. Wherever the white light is, depending on which Vex you're fighting, it's going to be a different spot.
Yeah, although the Harpies don't
just
have a
their red
white.
light.
They have a red light in the center as their eye.
They have the big sphere thing, too, right?
No, that's the Taken. Or the Fallen, sorry.
Never mind.
Yeah.
The big balls that look kind of like the Traveler.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
But a scowling one.
It's like they've met before. It's like it's literally like the Traveler's crazy ex that has like voodoo dolls of him that they use to come at you.
I'm not sure what you're talking about, though, actually.
The Sentry, what are they called? The floating orbs that
you looked at me for a second and realized
you
you were wrong. I have no idea.
Oh, the floating orbs, they have no affiliation with the Traveler. For anyone listening and not knowing anything about Destiny, it's not like a twin or anything.
Two things can both be
No,
orbs.
the Fallen were raised by the Traveler, right? And they have robots that look just like the Traveler. I'm saying it's.
Oh yes, yeah, the
it's an
servitors.
homage. This is not the greatest song in the world. This is just
sorry,
a tribute.
I thought you meant the Taken. Sorry, I was getting confused.
I did say the Taken originally, but
yeah, the Fallen. So yeah, the Fallen. They have something called a servitor, which is a high-ranking Fallen, and it looks like a giant eye that is purple.
And a tiny Traveler.
Or a tiny Traveler, although it's. Oh, I guess it would
Depends
be
on how
modeled
close
after
you are
that.
to
I
it.
didn't even make that connection.
It would be, right?
Ethan, you learned me something.
That's what we do here. We learn each other.
Yeah.
Okay, take a hand off my penis. Okay, yeah. No.
Sit the fuck
I won't move it, but I'm gonna finish the thought.
Yeah.
So what the servitors do is they bring the elixir to the other units, and also they have the ability. If there's a servitor in one spot and 4 fallen around them, they pretty much make a shield from the servitor. So you have to kill the servitor first before you can kill the fallen, because the servitor creates a shield for the ones around it. And it's a very high-ranking fallen unit.
Cool.
It's really annoying whenever you throw a grenade at the Fallen and he just immuno shields everyone.
Yeah. So back to the Vex.
Back to the Vex.
Back to the Vex.
Whoops,
Back to
yeah.
the Vex.
What are their motivations? Like, why are they here, right?
Aren't they actually robots? I'm sorry.
They are.
Hang on a second.
They're robots.
So, I'm putting this together because I remember hearing this fan theory eons ago that the Traveler was not really the fucking good dude that we all think he is. If he terraformed Venus and it's covered in Vex milk that is creating evil robots of some description, how good could the Traveler possibly be?
This happened after the darkness came, though.
Okay.
Because the Traveler retreated to Earth,
Soured
saved
the milk.
Earth, and then all of these, the horde of species of things that came in happened afterwards.
So he soured the milk?
Yeah, you might say.
I said that twice now, so
Sorry.
you didn't get it. Somebody listening to this is just like, Peter thinks he is so fucking sorry. What a fucking asshole.
Well, last cast I noticed I did that too. I made a joke twice because you guys weren't listening, but I do it for you two. I don't do it for the listeners. Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
The privilege of just walking into this room and listening to these 3 idiots talk to each other.
Yeah.
Let's this mic stand up.
Let's talk
Not
about
careful.
Vex, baby.
Let's talk about
you and me.
I was thinking
Let's talk about all the good things
And the bad things.
all the Ingrams and
and V. I'm thirsty for milk, man.
Go give me some of that Vex milk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Why people call it Vex milk though?
If you see it, it looks like milk.
I don't in Canada. I don't know about the rest of the world. There's
Vex come in bags.
Vex.
Vex coming back.
No, Vex is this like 8% cooler that you can drink
Oh, yeah,
during
that's
the
true,
summer.
that's true,
Oh
yeah.
no! So Vex milk is
a
just
Smirnoff
curdled milk inside of a blue cooler.
Oh my god, I was
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
Vex milk was like all the ports
It's the-
that you make
it's
after
like-
drinking a bunch of coolers.
It's just a coconut. It's just a coconut Vex. It's the
Aw.
one that comes in white.
The Vex motivations is that they worship something called the Black Heart, which is presumably part of the darkness.
Okay.
The Vex's ultimate goal. So I want to say a little bit about the Vex before I talk about their ultimate goal. Is the way that they organize themselves is not within houses or factions. They organize themselves within their programming. So it's like, that guy's C++ and I'm Python, so I don't quite get him, but we can talk. You
If
know?
they're
Like,
machines, that makes sense.
yeah, exactly.
They
So
are mostly mechanical, but they're powered by space milk.
they're powered by space milk. Then like probably their robot heart runs on that, but their brains work on programming.
Do they have any other organic bits?
Oh yeah, they do.
Oh, baby.
I have to imagine that a water snake is the only python that can talk to the sea.
What?
I'm not 100% sure. We're like,
Because it said, I speak python, he
talks to the sea?
The
Oh,
sea.
C+. Oh,
It's right there, guys.
You bridged it.
that fucking sentence punched my soul out of my body. That doesn't make any sense.
Whoa, not a fan of jokes, I see. All right.
Tough crowd.
Tough crowd.
You ever tried stand-up comedy in a room of two? Doesn't really work. Usually,
It's odd.
they tell you to go home.
Especially if you don't know them.
I've tried it.
My girlfriend, like, sir, please.
Get out of my house.
Yeah.
No, put down the knife.
The fact, so they do function on programming, but
Okay.
their ultimate goal is to program themselves into the universe. They want to integrate themselves into everything. So they want to be bigger than what they are.
Okay, they're like the Borg, eh?
What are that?
They're,
The chef from the Muppets.
Yep.
Borka
I'm
Borka.
so... This is like 2 references deep, and I don't know either of them.
The Borg are like a robot race of... Am I getting them mixed up with the Daleks?
They're from Star Trek.
Yeah, they're from Star Trek.
Okay.
With the one with the Patrick
I won't know the actor.
Patrick Stewart in it.
Okay, I know Patrick Stewart.
Yeah. So I've never watched Star Trek, if you can't tell.
Okay.
But I know who the Borg is. And they're like a big race of robots that want to like just absorb everybody into their
They're
cloud, basically.
They're cybernetic, hive mind. The hive mind sometimes called the collective or the hive.
Ethan on the Google trigger.
Or the
Yeah.
Hive, yeah. And also, Star Trek, just a little note on Game Awards tonight. VR Star Trek, the one where you play as the person who is the captain. That's one of the VR games that got nominated. I'm not enough of a Trekkie to actually buy the game and play it, but apparently it's a fantastic game. So if you have a VR headset and like Star Trek, play that game.
I'm not enough of a Star Trek fan to explain what the Borg is.
Yeah.
So when they assimilate things, also, does the Vex milk, is it a source of energy? Does it power their suits?
It's not really clear, but they need it to survive.
Okay. So for all intents and purposes, it's their battery.
Sure.
It's just
Yeah, whenever you shoot it, they die real quick.
Okay.
So
when you step in it, it burns you and it powers these robots.
Yeah.
Somehow. It's magic goo, but who cares? It's a video game.
Yeah, and it seems to be pressurized because whenever you shoot them, it kind of comes out real quick. The white goo just shoots right out.
Well, if it's going to be pumping through any system, you're going to want it to be pressurized, right?
Oh yeah. Well, like, maybe it's static. Maybe they just gotta like let it like seep into their
Well,
organs.
not if they're using it as power, because if it's not gonna like, it doesn't need to be pressurized.
We're all engineers, by the way.
If it's gonna flow, it would have to be like blood. But if they're drawing energy from it and they're mechanical, it can just be in a tank,
That's true.
right?
We just
Yeah.
have a diode.
That's right.
Unless it gets hot, because things that radiate energy generate heat, right? So that's why it would kind of expand at the end.
Heat
of pressure.
is energy. Whoa.
Pressure.
We're not as dumb as we look, but it's an
Yeah.
audio format, so you wouldn't know.
So the way
was
that
such
they
a
want,
stupid fucking dad joke.
I loved it. The way that they wanted to integrate themselves is they saw a path through the darkness, because the darkness is moving through all of the universe and kind of making it uniform. So it's easier to program yourself, or maybe uniform or chaotic. It's not really sure, but like if one thing took over the whole universe, it's easier to assimilate yourself into it rather than a darkness and a light side, right?
Yeah.
Why do you want to go PC and Mac if there's only PC everywhere, right?
Because I'm not a goddamn communist, Jamie. Communism confirmed, right? Like,
I was really pleased actually with this one. As much as I've been making fun of Bungie and their
Yeah.
kind of like recycled themes,
Yeah.
the fact that the Vex don't want. Yeah, this shows like how great I am at this.
Yeah.
The fact that the Vex don't just want ultimate order and like the only way to create peace is to murder everything.
Yeah.
Just like every sci-fi robot ever. I think that's really cool.
Mhm.
That it's like an assimilation thing instead of a I don't know, a control thing.
Yeah. No, definitely. And
You can't kill anyone if you're dead, right? Like, oh yeah, thanks.
Destiny even dropped like a couple lines like in interviews and stuff saying like the Vex have a very interesting past, right? And we don't know all of it yet. We might know some of it soon. There's still a lot of Destiny that's left up in the air. The 9 is like this power that we don't really know about. Trials of the 9 is a type of competitive play where you have to win with a 4-on-4 PvP map. You have to win like 5 games in a row to get to another area to get better gear. But
Holy
anyways,
fuck.
the 9, yeah, it's tough. And Ethan, I think that's one thing that I really enjoy about the game is the competitive side of it.
Yeah.
There's some good PvP. And Trials of the 9, if you get 4 people and you have to win 5 to 7 games in a row against other people who are playing really hard, that's when it starts to get competitive. It starts to get really fun.
Yeah.
And it's not just public events where you're just puttering around. Yeah, why did I use your name?
Petered out to things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. You just like.
I'm glad you were
putter
thinking
around.
about
Yeah,
that.
I always.
Because your hand's stolen like Peter, dude.
Yeah, exactly. I'm Michael Jordan, like in Space Jam, long arming both of the boys right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what they want to do. Is they just want to program themselves into the universe. They don't really need ultimate control, but yeah, like you said, they just want assimilation.
It's easier.
So that's
Just
the Vex.
easier.
They're just
this way.
robot amoebas.
I just want to lie down and sleep.
Yeah,
They're just suppressed robots that are just
they just
have
want to
just
be a
given
part
up.
of everything. They want to dial into like a universal consciousness
Okay.
kind of thing.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
That don't
Good
seem
for
so
them.
bad.
No.
If they didn't shoot first, I wouldn't be so mad about it.
Yeah, exactly. Although in Destiny, like, there's times when they're having like a ritual, like they're all guard. They arrive through portals, by the way, like circular portals that they can get through time and space.
Cool.
So they're able to transport themselves very quickly.
If they can get through time and space, why not just go to the past?
That's a good question.
Yeah. See, this is a question I always had about Life is Strange,
Okay.
right?
Never
The
played.
main character's got time travel powers.
I haven't played it yet.
She uses her powers to solve a murder. Why not use your powers to prevent the murder?
Because, I mean, you get into...
I know you wouldn't have a plot, but I mean,
Well, you
I'm
get
just-
into a whole bunch of discussions too, like, are you just fracturing the timeline, or are you actually changing the timeline? If you change the timeline, you never go back, you create a paradox, like...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it...
So you're just solving it for the peace of mind of knowing how it happened, I guess?
maybe.
Anyways. Time travel's like such a bag of worms. What is it called? A bucket of fish?
Yeah, kettle of
Can of
fish.
worms. No, it's a kettle of fish. Or
No,
something.
it's a whole nother kettle of fish, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to make a coherent story with time travel.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So the next part, we've gone through the Fallen. So they're the people who lost the light
And they have
and
4 arms.
are feeling pretty bad about it. They cannot steal from the darkness, so they respect it and join it. We have the Hive, which are the undead that fall around and just burrow into things, and they consume light because they fucking hate it. And then,
real edgy, these guys.
yeah, exactly.
Mom, turn off the light! I'm sitting in the dark! God!
I don't need a nightlight anymore. Yeah.
Crawling in my
And then we have
Hey,
the
sweetie.
Vex, who are the robots that just want to make themselves programmed into this universe.
They just want more robots, basically.
Yeah. To them, the darkness and the light, it doesn't really matter. They just want to be a part of everything, and the darkness seems like the easiest path.
Yeah.
And then now we have the Cabal, who are the main villains in Destiny 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So most people who will be listening now, if you're into Destiny, you're playing Destiny 2. If you don't know Destiny, that's okay. I'm going to tell you about it.
They're the biggins.
Yeah, they are known as war rhinos or space turtles by the community.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah,
They're two very different animals.
yeah. Well, because excuse me, I'm burping in the mic. They're on the screen now. You can see them there. They're very bulky.
Yep.
They have like big armor. They do have a command over tech, over guns. They are large rhinoceros-like bipedal race with thick gray skin, a flat nose, conical teeth,
Conical.
conical
Conical,
teeth,
yeah.
very small eyes, and they have black blood. So they're like very like pretty much like a big brutish alien. If you had to think of like strength over, like brawn over brains alien, this is what you would get. It's very much like power through everything.
They're like armored space trolls, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, from the looks of it. But they're very
they're Uruk.
They're extravagant.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very decorated.
If you look at one of
big
their
ass
heads,
fins and shit.
yeah. If you see one of their heads, like I'm thinking of Gaul, which is we'll come back to later. He is a Destiny 2 villain, basically. He's of the main story.
He's the
villain.
leader of the.
Yeah. He looks kind of like Dwayne Johnson who flew too close to the sun, and his mouth is a frown with too many teeth.
Yeah, I've seen what their faces look like. They're fucking stupid.
Yeah, so they're really bulky.
They should leave that mask on.
Yeah. Bulky, melty, upside down, like, bottom jaw that really moves a lot. It's got a lot of motion. Yeah. They'd make a good raspberry. Their need for they need a breathing apparatus at all times to survive, and they have poor eyesight, according to the ghosts. In one of the games, one of the ghosts is like, "Hey, they have poor eyesight." So apparently, they have poor eyesight. So maybe that's why they can't shoot you.
They settled on guns for some reason.
Yeah.
As their weapon of choice.
Yeah, not glasses.
Yeah, exactly. Space travel, no glasses. Though.
Yeah.
Well,
No. So they're
gotta leave something out of the budget.
they're able to like take over tanks, machines. They have guns. They have weapons. They're relatively advanced.
Are they the ones who build the spider tanks?
I think that is them. Yes.
You're thinking of Halo. That's the Covenant again.
No, that's a
No,
Scarab.
they're spider tanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spider tank.
I make
Bungie
jokes.
memed again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bungie memed.
Their MO is they just want to expand and conquer everything.
Yeah.
They're kind of they're the big bullies.
That's it. They have a superiority complex.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like the Mongols, right? They just kind of move around, take things.
Yeah, they have no affiliation with the darkness for the most part.
Oh yeah.
They're running from another great evil in their past. It's not really mentioned if it's a bigger evil than the darkness,
But it's
or
explicitly mentioned that it's not the darkness.
It's a darker
it's
darkness?
not the darkness.
Oh wow.
It's not the darkness. So it's something in their past that they're running away from. Maybe
Space is so existential.
The redness.
they all have just really tiny space penises.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then it's like that's what
They left. Yeah.
That's what the guy with the tiny dick sounds like.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I sound when I sleep. Yeah. Jamie and I shared a room for a while. That's why. No, but maybe they just they're just leaving all their wives behind because they have those small penises and they couldn't stand to be ridiculed any longer. So
I'll take
Exactly.
all the planets.
yeah.
Exactly.
I'll show you. Maybe I got a small penis, but I got a big collection of planets.
Yep. It's pretty much them.
Yeah, boy. Hey, boys go to Venus to get a bigger penis, right?
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Or to pretend like they have one. And all that they find is Vex Milk and angry robots. Son of a bitch.
That would piss anyone off.
Yo, actually, do these things all work together?
Not really, no. And
Not
you'll
at all,
actually see
yeah.
them fighting.
They fight
Okay,
often.
cool, yeah. Cool.
And you'll even see them fighting against each other in some cases because they do have different factions. Most of the time, if you show up, they'll like hey,
Everybody
that
stop.
guy.
Yeah, they stop fighting each other and they fight you. But it's
I
because
hate
you're
that.
one guy that can take out like 60 of them. So they're
Yeah.
like, if we want to get back to our thing, we got to work together to kill this
I
guy.
will kill you later.
Yeah.
This guy here.
In some really hard raids and stuff, there's certain when there's no time limit, there's certain times where it's better just to let two factions fight it out for maybe 30-40 seconds and then join the fray because they do more damage to each other. Kind of.
Yeah.
Or they have less health. Rather.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You let them hurt each other enough, and then you come in and sweep up. So that is the Cabal.
What's their motivation?
Their motivation
Little dicks.
is there's something chasing them, and they just really want to
Oh,
expand.
yeah, sorry. I'm
Yeah.
just such a fucking
No,
idiot.
I
I listened to that whole thing and then was just like, but why are they here?
That's fair though, because it's the only one that doesn't have an affiliation with the darkness.
Yeah, but
They're
they got
just
some
kind of-
other darker darkness or
Exactly.
something.
I was really wondering about that catatonic look in your eyes, but
Yeah,
I guess it makes a lot of sense now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where am I? Oh God!
You look like a hive.
Jesus Christ. I'm
Where are my
white.
pants?
Yeah. All right, hang on.
Peter, you don't need those. You don't need those pants. Just leave the pants down. Leave the pants on the floor.
Give me the time, the date, the time of year, and the approximate location.
Time of year.
We're in the golden age.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the collapse is imminent. So we have all four right now. So we have the Fallen. I'll do a quick run through. Fallen, which are the past Guardians forearms. 2 legs, but
Mhm.
now they've lost everything. There's the Hive, which are the undead. There are the Vex, which are robots, exactly. And then we have the Cabal, which are the rhinoceroses with something to prove.
Yeah.
And so we have all 4 of these come together to fuck up
Rhino
your
needs
day.
his horn, man.
Yeah. And now, the last but not least, which is the biggest protagonist or antagonist in the first game, it's the Taken. So the Taken can be any or all of these
Yeah.
races.
I was wondering why you didn't have an image for us.
Yeah.
I was wondering what the twist was going to be.
Because anyone can be a Taken. You and I can be a Taken. What does it mean?
If you're taken, you have to tell me.
Yeah, that's the law.
Yeah. Fallen don't like the Taken because they've been stolen.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
Just made that up.
Oh, okay. Oh, I get that. Which is ridiculous enough to be like part of Destiny lore.
Yeah,
I was like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
That makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
Now the Taken look very dark.
Well, because they're any and all race, but they can be anyone, but they're warped out of this dimension to be corrupted by the darkness.
Yeah,
And then brought
okay.
back with new dark powers.
That's what I
pretty
mean.
cool.
Yeah.
So they go somewhere. They are in such a hostile world. I'd imagine not all of them are able to survive and come back.
Yeah.
Probably only the strongest come back with this new power, this
That's it.
darkness.
A new power, but
they have
they-
a new look. They have
Only
new
the
moves.
strongest will survive?
yeah.
Wasn't that song part of Halo 3's marketing?
Ooh.
Oh, Bungie going in with the deep.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a deep cut.
recycles. Yeah.
I wish I knew the Halo theme song well enough to
Oh.
No, it there's something. It's like Papa Roach or something. It's like only the strongest will survive. Or
Isn't there like a Breaking
Don't remember
Benjamin
that.
song in there?
That's it.
Strong will take you home.
No, that's-
maybe
That's trap. That's
we're
the
gonna
good song.
we're gonna YouTube
think
this.
they use the guitar from that song.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
We'll have to look it up. So the Taken, they're any and all. They go somewhere. They come back with dark powers. Who's doing this?
The darkness.
Is
It's
it the darkness?
It's by the hand of Oryx while working with the worms.
That's
He who
the
lies
Taken
with
King.
The
worms.
Taken King sends them over, brings them back on his side with new powers.
So that's why he's the Taken King. Because he's the
Yes.
literal king of the Taken.
These are the enemies, and this is where I want to end it today for
Awesome.
Destiny enemy
I
race.
suppose we'll hear more about the Taken when we have to cover.
So much more.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
much more.
You'll be
So-
taken by the Taken.
So now, up to now, we kind of have the world built. We know where we're at. We have the light. We have the darkness. We know the Guardians a little bit, although we're going to dive deeper into them as the story progresses.
Yeah.
You are the Guardian. You'll see. And the next hopefully two, maybe 3 episodes, we're going to get through the actual story of the game and what's happening. There's a lot of deep pockets within Destiny that we probably won't get into, but we're going to cover the broad strokes and get into some of the details of it. And I'm really excited, guys.
We got a good foundation built.
That is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
We
sat
built
through the
them.
boring parts of HGTV. Now we're gonna get into the good part.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Homes on homes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So normally we would, normally
Normally, I'll tell you to go
as
to
of
hell.
As the beginning of the second season, we would talk about ourselves. But since tonight of recording, it's the Game of the Year awards. I figure I'll read off some categories to you guys, and I can read off the games that are in those categories, and you guys can give me your picks.
Yeah.
And we can compare it to.
Since we're recording on Thursday and this is going to be out on Monday,
Yeah.
you can tweet or Facebook at us as to how wrong or right we may have been.
That's it. Well, I mean, the results aren't in yet, so.
Horizon Zero Dawn wins everything.
Yeah, well, Game of the Year, Horizon Zero Dawn is a contender.
No, it's gonna be Mario Odyssey, dude.
Yeah, people are fucking losers, man.
Over-
I know the game's good, but it's
Over
not real.
Botwa?
Over Breath of the Wild?
Breath of the Wild?
Yes.
I bet you Breath of the Wild takes
Me,
it.
No,
actually, I'm more on Jamie's side.
Mario Odyssey. If you go on IGN and you look at the rating for the game,
Yeah.
it is the highest rating game, even over Ocarina of Time.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the only game that is like
Ever done
it's it's amazing.
There you
And
go.
this game is going to beat Botwa. Botwa is great.
It
Don't get me
sounds like,
wrong,
yeah.
but
I don't deny it's
Odyssey.
good. I seriously doubt it's perfect.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take the underdog. I guess.
What are the other ones?
This is people voting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If it was judged, I'd say Breath of the Wild, but if it's people voting, it's probably Super Mario Odyssey.
Fanboys got a lot of shit to prove. They're very much like the Cabal.
The other one is PlayerUnknown's
Tiny
Battleground.
dicks and nothing, something to prove.
The other one, though, PlayerUnknown's Battleground is on there, and that's highest concurrent player base of all time.
I think if this
So-
was like a,
They're too busy
if this was-
playing.
If this was a game of the year sort of thing that like mattered as to like what game made headlines and like dominated the actual thing, PUBG would have to win.
Yeah.
But this, of course, is Game Awards, and it does not matter.
No, it doesn't.
So
Best game direction. We have Wolfenstein 2, Resident Evil 7, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, and Horizon Zero Dawn.
I'm gonna go. I played.
Go your
of,
pick.
Of
Who would
those-
you vote?
Of those, I've played Resident Evil and Horizon Zero Dawn. I loved Resident Evil. I think that it's really great that they made it a great game on both VR and non-VR.
yeah,
Which is a feat on itself, and I think it's great, but I do think Horizon Zero Dawn deserves to win more than that. It's an open world game that's captured me more than... It made me feel like a child again, like playing a game for the first time. It's a beautiful, beautiful game. I've talked about it on the cast, love it.
out of those options, like I have played Wolfenstein 2, and I love it. I would still not vote for it though, for me, because it's great. But the this has been said before, and it's in a video essay now by Errant Signal, who's quite good on YouTube. Check him out. He's huge. I'm just saying, I just like his shit. It's the tone's inconsistent, so that's kind of like not good direction.
Yeah, big point direction.
by default. Like it's very clear that's what they wanted, but
Yeah.
it's just
So who are you giving it to?
for me.
Yeah.
I would probably honestly give it to Zelda in this instance here. Despite the fact I haven't played it, I know they made a really good open world game, and the fact that it can remain consistent and flexible, I think is
And
really
it still feel like a Zelda game.
yeah.
right?
That's
Yeah.
good direction.
Side note, I have to say, not Horizon Zero, Resident Evil 7, although it was a fantastic game, I don't think it's going to win any of these awards because only a fraction of gamers are willing to play through an entire scary game.
Yeah.
You know, a
Yeah.
scary game kind of divides the
Pussies.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's just like the horror genre in movies, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, this year's a bad year to say
You mean
that.
real
Yeah.
horror, not like Saw 5.
No, I mean horror in general.
Yeah.
It's always like much lower viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for this year, but
Yeah.
just don't
best
like to-
narrative. We have What Remains of Edith Finch,
play it.
Near Automata, Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. We have Wolfenstein 2, and we have Horizon Zero Dawn.
I've only played Horizon Zero Dawn and I loved it, so I have to give it to that.
I've heard incredible things about Senua's Sacrifice and very much want to play it. I'm going to give it to that.
Okay. Excelente. Best art direction: Destiny 2, Cuphead, Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, Persona 5, and Horizon Zero Dawn.
Cuphead.
Cuphead.
I think I have to go Cuphead. If I don't know Persona 5 well enough, I know it's a fantastic game. I'm going to buy it and play it.
It's
but
an anime.
but it's an anime, yeah. Whereas Cuphead is really original.
Like,
and really,
yeah.
really-
Cuphead is the one game that looks like that.
That's
and,
it.
And they, like that fucking game's art style like bled into its boss design.
Yeah.
Right? And how like surreal and weird that shit
Yeah,
is. Like,
no,
it's
yeah,
fucking
exactly.
Cuphead.
It's like a 50s cartoon.
Yeah, exactly.
30s. It's like
30s,
Max
yeah,
Fleischer
sorry,
and like
yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Destiny 2. Sorry, I didn't read the category.
Yeah.
Let's do that though.
Disappointed-
Just give us
Yeah,
the game.
I'll give you the games. You guys can guess the category.
Disappointed Ethan the hardest.
Yeah. Destiny 2, Cuphead, Near Automata, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Persona 5.
What's this?
Best role playing game? No, I didn't know. That's not all role playing.
Best score, music.
Oh,
The Destiny music's good. Cuphead, though, again, they committed their fucking time
Yeah.
to be like authentic as
same
shit.
again.
Destiny 2, Cuphead, Near Automata, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, or Persona 5.
I only know Destiny, and I work in a video game office, and I've seen at least 5 people listening to the Destiny soundtrack
Yeah.
while working.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to say that one just because I don't have enough
I
information.
think Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey are cheating because their plays on the songs
The
that we already
themes,
know. Like
yeah.
I know Zelda music. I know.
I love that
Mario.
they did a cover of this song from 1996.
That's
they
it.
already have the motifs. and everything. You
Yeah.
just gotta amp it up.
I played through Nier Automata, and everybody on Earth seems to be like, "Yo, this has the best soundtrack
I
I've
think
ever
it
heard."
does, yeah.
And I'm like, "Cool." I don't remember a note of a single song, but again, I gotta support my homies who commit to their craft. It's Cuphead for me.
Yeah, I would give that one to Nier because
Oh, really?
yeah.
Okay, so Destiny, Cuphead, Nier.
Yep.
Destiny, just probably because I like the game, but if I hear the opening soundtrack, it gives me a little tingles. Like,
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I don't. Bungie's, despite like the fact that I think Halo 5 is, no, fuck, never mind, that's 343. I was gonna say, I was like, Bungie consistently, despite the fact their games disappoint me, but no, consistently Bungie games have incredible music.
Yeah.
I replayed Halo 1 last week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because a buddy of mine's got an Xbox the first with a copy of fucking Halo 1 on it.
Nice.
Dude, even in 2001, their music was incredible.
Yeah.
Like, way beyond what normal people would do in 2001.
Yeah.
This gave me a nice nostalgia sigh. I love that game.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I mean, we kind of did the Game Awards the wrong order because usually you end with Game of the Year.
Oops.
Uh,
Did they put it at the top of the page, so this is their fault?
yeah, we'll blame them. Sure.
All right, good.
Jeff Keighley. They just really want to make sure people actually vote on the
Order
Game
doesn't
of the Year,
matter.
right?
We're all gonna die.
So
Yeah, exactly.
So let's end on one because now we're kind of getting into the weeds here. So let's say since we have released some VR clips, say
Yeah.
best VR AR game.
I think I played 3 out of 5.
We
I
have-
looked at this at work. Yeah.
We have Super Hot, we have Star Trek, we have Lone Echo, Echo Arena, we have Farpoint, and we have Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
So I guess I'll take this one.
Yeah, this one's yours.
I have an
So-
opinion, though, too, because I did play...
Super hot.
Yes.
Yeah. So if I had someone over to my house, I would say, like I had both of you,
Yeah,
I would say Super Hot.
Super
wins.
Hot. Yeah.
If people have a limited experience with VR,
Yeah.
Super Hot wins. That said, over Black Friday, they sold 1 million PSVR
Yeah.
headsets.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 1 million.
Oh, nice. Good job, guys.
So they're doing well, right? So there are people playing these things, and I think Farpoint's going to win. Although it does come with an extra cost because you have to buy a gun that comes with
That
it.
comes
But
with it, yeah.
it's 1-to-1. It's 1-to-1 a gun. So whenever you're in the thing,
Yeah.
you
That's
really,
probably really fucking cool.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds cool.
and from a coworker, I haven't played it again. Nambi's going to lend it to me in the new year, but even I don't have a huge apartment, and apparently you don't really notice where your walls are because the game is engineered so well that you're going to be walking and moving around, but you're never going to bump into a wall, even in a small space.
Oh.
Oh yeah, That's
and
cool.
it is very immersive. The story is amazing. It has time travel in it. It has betrayal in it. It has beautiful gameplay, beautiful graphics, and considering it's in PSVR, I think Farpoint has to win. Although from the games I own, I would give it to Super
Yeah.
Hot.
I would vote Super Hot as well, based on what I've
Yes.
Great.
seen.
Yeah, and also,
but I'm a sucker for art,
Yeah.
as we know.
Resident Evil did impress me so
Yeah.
much. I played that game for 20 hours.
Consistently spooked.
Yeah, that's it.
consistently spooked.
But that's a good
new
game.
content that keeps coming. I replayed half of the game just to get back to a certain point, and it didn't feel like work.
Yeah.
It was so well put together. I don't think any of them don't deserve to be on that list.
But that feels like a good game also on VR.
Mhm. I would never play Resident Evil through again. Is the reason why I wouldn't
Yeah.
vote
Your
for
heart's not strong enough for
it.
that shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I think that's good for our picks for the Game Awards. We'll see how good you guys
What are the other
were.
categories?
How
It's
bad
just
you
like
guys
we'll
were.
do a second speed round here. What else do they have?
There's a billion. There's best handheld game, best mobile game, best ongoing game, games for impact.
Oh, best ongoing game. One of which is Warframe. I know that.
yeah, Warframe.
Because they've
is
been
one of
working
those.
on that and updating that for a
Warframe,
while.
PUBG, Destiny 2, Grand
League
Theft
of
Auto
Legends?
Online, Overwatch, and Rainbow Six Siege.
Wait a second. They put Destiny 2 in best ongoing game?
Yeah.
It's been out for fucking 4 days.
It'll keep going though. It'll keep going.
Yeah, just like the last time Activision said this was a 10-year plan, and now we
Yeah,
have
that's
2
it.
games.
Oh,
That's bullshit.
I think across all categories, Destiny probably has the most nominations, which I think is,
I
a
think-
nod at Activision sponsoring the contest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I also think that they're gonna win.
They will win
as a
bunch.
fan
and
of
they
the
deserve
game-
they deserve it. Yeah.
As a fan of
It's
the
not
game,
for me.
No, that's not what I was gonna say though. I think as a fan of the game, they're going to win a small percentage of what they're.
Yeah,
nominated
but that's what I mean. They deserve to win some.
Well, I should hope
Okay.
so. They got 30 nominations in 31 categories.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
that's
They win
it. I should
2.
hope they win at least one.
Yeah.
Okay. So for the listeners at home, thanks so much for listening. Make sure to check us out on iTunes and on Twitch, Facebook,
Twitch and Facebook would be the important
You
ones.
can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Ethan the Deadman.
I'm at Pete O'Donohue.
JAYMILLK, J Milk. Add me on Facebook at James the Miller. I'll add you on my personal account.
Yeah.
And,
And
I think that constitutes.
For everyone listening,
I think
we
that
got a
constitutes.
subscription service.
I think that constitutes Ethan speaking.
for everyone listening, some of the fans out there might know that Peter has been working on. He does all our art. He's been working on a comic for himself. So for everyone,
Only for me.
Everyone who subscribes to Lore Boys Premium, we actually have something really exciting. It's Peter's passion project.
Good alliteration.
He's actually releasing a fully published hentai, a Lore Boys hentai manga. So it's the three of us.
Or whatever.
It's the three of us. A whole
It's
bunch of tentacles.
Or yandere.
Yaoi. It's yaoi.
Yaoi is God. It's
No.
it's
No, yaoi is gay
Japanese
boys.
for
I thought it was yandere.
Yaoi is gay boys.
No, it's
Peter,
yaoi
Peter,
for
look me in the
men.
eyes and trust me.
I'm looking at you in the eyes
Yaoi
right
is
now.
gay boys.
I just finished the Fractured Butthole, and that is part of the collectibles. Is you have to collect all the yaoi of.
Yeah,
okay.
yaoi is gay boys. So there's gonna be
Fine, whatever.
We'll check it out after
the three of us anime styles. You read it right to left. A lot of yaoi, a lot of tentacles, and if you subscribe to Lore Boys Premium, you'll get the first edition absolutely free.
Completely free. Yeah.
You'll
Well,
hear
yeah.
Ethan go. "Blah."
A whole bunch. 'Cause
You would be
my little
astounded
penis.
as to how sweaty cartoon meat is.
yeah. And that constitutes a
Lore boys.
Lore Boys out!
All right.
do
A
2
moment of
hours.
silence for the editor, please.
No, I'm not going to after the last one.
Hey, you deserve that!
I laughed a lot too. You screamed in my ears.
That's so funny. I was listening to the end when you left in the fucking him just filling space when I went to take a phone call. Is so fucking good. Also, it's like, who the fuck is? Oh, it's Dara, and then just whoop, and then
Yeah.
we're back.
Yeah. All right. So the motivation of the Vex. What is it? So we know they're robots. They're part biological.
I'm sorry. I just have to like call this one out. This is
Yeah.
such great serendipity that you're just gonna leave this whole thing in right now, okay? We were talking about White Russians, and I was just thinking about my buddy Nick, who I stream Warframe with.
Who's a white Russian?
He is white. His
Alexi.
his favorite drink is a White Russian. And I was gonna mention like, oh, Nick, who I work with and play Warframe with, drinks White Russians. Notification just went off on my fucking watch.
That he
Nick
liked our-
texted me, "Are you watching the Game Awards?"
Wow.
Like just as I was thinking of him.
That's amazing.
Isn't that
My
that
fr-
serendipity? That's what that movie's about.
Well, one of my
think so.
friends.
Never seen it. Is it like American History X?
It's synchronicity. I think is the word you're thinking of.
Is it?
Yeah.
Am I thinking of a rom-com with Tom Hanks in it?
Yeah.
Is that not what serendipity is as well, though?
No,
Something that's serendipitous is like